There's an angry dispute underway tonight over fishing rights. It follows the outline agreement struck by the Prime Minister over future relations after Britain leaves the European Union. The First Minister said the deal would result in a sellout of the fishing fleet and demanded the resignation of the Scottish Secretary, David Mundell. But Mr Mundell insisted he was standing up for Scottish rights. This from our political editor, Brian Taylor.
The British people want this to be settled. They want a good deal that sets us on course for a brighter future. That deal is within our grasp, and I am determined to deliver it.
Ever the optimist, the Prime Minister believes she's closer to a deal. Ever contentious, what does it mean for the price of fish, sellout or salvation? Read the text. The new agreement does stress that the United Kingdom will be an independent coastal state as demanded by Scottish Conservatives. But it also says that a future fisheries agreement should be within the context of the overall economic partnership. Nicola Sturgeon offered a translation.
Another Tory sellout of Scottish fishermen.
She said EU countries would offer access to their trade markets in return for keeping their boats fishing in Scottish waters. And she had a message for the Scottish Secretary.
If David Mundell is still in office by the end of today, in light of this political declaration, he will have forfeited forever any last remaining scrap of principle or credibility that he had.
But David Mundell insisted the deal did allow for annual negotiation, as he had demanded, with the UK free to strike a good deal.
I don't think anybody disputes the challenges that we'll have from other EU countries as they try and push back. But there's nothing predetermined in this declaration. It will be for us to decide what we agree or don't agree with the EU.
We request them to agree our most sincere congratulations.
When Edward Heath first took Britain into the common market, UK fishing interests were privately described as expendable. There followed decades of suspicion in the industry and loathing for the common fisheries policy. Today's package gained qualified approval.
2 cheers, not 3. What the deal does, or what the political declaration puts in place, is the means for us being a sovereign coastal state in charge of our waters and in charge of who gets there and how much they fish. That's good. What is not promised is what the outcome will be of negotiations yet to happen.
Tonight, in the Commons, a leading Brexiteer demanded
that any fisheries agreement will never link access to our waters with single market access, and that the UK will determine who fishes in our waters, when they fish in our waters, and what they fish in our waters.
But the Prime Minister expects a Norway-style arrangement with the UK empowered to steer the fishing fleet through rough waters. Critics say EU nations will exploit access to fishing waters and catch quotas. Brian Taylor, reporting Scotland.
And our political correspondent David Porter is at Westminster for us. Significant moment this, David?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. This document only runs to 26 pages, but make no mistake, it is very, very important. First of all, the timing, its publication before that key European summit this weekend when the heads of the EU will try and sign off the Brexit deal, but also for its contents. It is basically charting a future relationship between the UK and the EU after Brexit. It'll deal with trade, it'll deal with security and many other matters as well. It is worth saying a couple of things. It is only a draft agreement, it has no legal validity, and it is in many ways aspirational. The way it has been drafted, there is something in this for everyone. As we've been hearing, there is a huge political row developing over fishing. Scottish MPs will be pleased that there's a reference to an independent coastal state. They will be very worried, though, by the fact that the document in a few paragraphs later goes on to talk about being part of a wider economic deal. They will be worried that in future perhaps the Scottish fishing industry could have its interests bartered away for a wider deal. So this is a very, very important document. At the end of the day, will it make it easier for Theresa May to get her Brexit legislation through the Commons behind me? I doubt that very much.
David Porter, thank you very much.